And I was also probably overly confident. I just thought I was like the best player ever, so I thought the money would just be rolling in always. So maybe that also helped. But yeah, I would say I generally like making the fair decision. I also think that's why I really enjoy poker tournaments, because it's such a fair game. You know, you come in with your, like, sure, like the buy-ins are can be expensive, but as soon as you buy in, doesn't matter if you have like 5,000 more buy-ins in the bank or just like that one. Once like late reg is closed, like that's it, you know, like you could be the richest person in the world, but as soon as you're out, you can't buy in again, you know?
What's up, 8 Ride Nation? David Zuckman here as usual. Today we're in Vegas and we are doing our best to, well, make poker players' lives easier. Today we are taking Triple Crown winner.
Allegedly, it's up for debate, but yeah.
Well, I'm not going to debate it. You won a WPT, you've won an EPT, you've got a bracelet. You're a Triple Crown winner in my heart. It is Steven's song, everybody. Steven, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, nice to be here, man.
Hey,
yeah.
Let's get right into it. Why do you not think you're a Triple Crown winner?
I mean, I won the WPT Prime. I mean, it was the win one, so it was a nice one to win. Obviously, a lot of money. But, you know, I feel like Prime is kind of this equivalent of, like, saying you won a WSOP ring and calling yourself a bracelet winner almost. But, you know.
Okay. You, by the way, you've also won circuit rings.
Yeah, I have some circuit rings.
You know what you haven't won? You have not won an 8 live event.
That is true. I mean, you guys don't have that many of them.
Well, we do. We're in Barcelona, Madrid.
No, yeah, you know, I actually
London.
went to Portugal once too.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's not around the U.S. though. But
no, not in the U.S. But there are opportunities out there, and who knows? Maybe we'll come to North America at some point.
Then you'll probably see me there.
we can lure you over there. You seem to love the game. How long have you been playing?
Oh God, I mean, seriously now, I've been playing about 9 to 10 years. So yeah, I mean, basically a third of my life. I'm 30 now. But I learned when I was, my dad taught me when I was like 9 or 10 years old. So
Was your dad a player?
he plays a little. He'll go to like casinos and play some dailies and stuff. He won a daily recently, like a couple months ago. So he gets in the mix. You know?
Is he good?
He's splashy. So like he's not afraid to make a move. One of his favorite things used to be every once in a while I don't look at my hand and I just play it like I have aces. And you know, in the beginning that advice seemed cool, but nowadays you know, probably doesn't work out. But yeah, I give him some tips and he's got some moves. So.
But he was the one that gave you the poker bug.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Because, yeah, you're a little bit younger than, you know, when I think of the generation of poker players that kind of came up through, of course, Moneymaker and watching him play, you're younger than those players.
Yeah, I mean, I came up in a really awkward era where, like, it was, like, Black Friday had happened and then poker was kind of dying. And honestly, I just looked at it as an outlet of, first of all, I just found it really fun, but yeah, it didn't seem like the most profitable option at the moment. Like, fields had kind of gone down, the game wasn't like growing that much. This is pre-COVID, and I was just looking at it kind of as a way to like not work almost. So like just play a game and hopefully just make enough where I don't have to work. And then, you know, COVID happened. COVID wasn't the best, but for poker, it really blew it up, and now poker's huge again. Yeah, so, and then, you know, I was already kind of prominent, or getting there in the poker world by the time COVID happened, so I was in a good spot by the time it actually started.
That's what I was wondering, because I was like, so you started playing poker seriously in college?
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't really even finish college. I was there for like literally half a semester, and then I dropped
Where'd you
out
go?
Colby College for like literally half a semester.
Okay, Colby's a good school.
It is a good school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in for squash. My parents pushed me to do squash just because it was good for getting into college. So I was going to be on the squash team, but I just wasn't showing up to classes. It's smaller art school. If you're not showing up to classes when there's 15 kids in the class, they're going to notice.
They notice.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. So.
Where's the squash kid, right?
Yeah.
Right. What, talk about squash for a second. I mean, what exact, first of all, for those of you who, you know, many people, maybe pickleball, obviously, very popular today.
Most people aren't going to know what squash is.
But squash is hard.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, so
Out for you, obviously, but...
Well, it's actually not true. When I first started playing, I sucked, but I learned when I was in in about 7th or 8th grade. I learned how to play. My parents had talked to some some school parents, I guess family friends, and I guess it's just a great outlet or great way. It's a lifetime sport, so if I want to, I could still play today. But it's also just a great way to, get into good college because.
Wait, so dad didn't play squash?
No, not at all.
And they were just literally.
It was literally
trying to
just
figure
for
out,
college.
how do we get you into college?
Yeah, exactly.
How do we make you different?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's also like it's a more niche sport. You don't have to compete with the sickest athletes in the country or the world, right? So
Okay. That's actually, hey, I like that.
yeah, it's and you put a lot of time and effort into it, you can get pretty good. Yeah, there was a time period where I was playing like
It was either
1
going
to
to
2
be
hours a day.
It was either going to be basketball or squash, and they just figured.
Well, it was soccer and squash. Basketball I never had the height for, but yeah, I was playing soccer in middle school, and then switched to squash because that was just, I'm not gonna be like go to college for soccer, I'm just not that guy, But
Are you really athletic though?
I would say I'm pretty athletic. I was a good short distance runner.
Okay.
But I've always been really bad with endurance. But with squash is okay because it's just a smaller court and it's more about like, quick movements and stuff.
Do you still play?
I haven't in a long time. Nowadays I just play poker so much I don't really have time to do anything. Any other time off, I just hang out with my fiance or see family and stuff. But should definitely get back on the court. I've gotten pretty fat lately. So
Okay, you said it. I did not. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to invite you in my car and say that. Okay. Talk about your fiance for a second. You have a date?
Yeah, well, I think we're just planning on getting eloped. We're still figuring it out. I got engaged last December.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she's the love of my life. She's great.
How'd you guys meet?
Actually, that's actually a pretty cool story. So she was playing like cash, and I was at a tournament at Venetian, and in the tournament it was like I think it was like an $800 Stairway to Heaven tournament. It was either $600 to $800. I remember I get in Kings versus Ace King for like 3 starting stacks each. Right after Reg closes, he hits an ace. I'm out. I'm like, okay, whatever. But my buddy Francis is he's heads up at this tournament. It was Anderson.
Okay.
Francis. Yeah. I mean, Francis is a pretty well-known guy if anyone follows the poker scene. So. So he was heads up in this it was a stairway series that they had at Venetian, so I was railing, and then he ends up getting second, and my fiance, she was there, and she also knew Francis. They had met earlier that week, and she messaged him that she was around too, so we all actually ended up grabbing dinner, and that's how we met. But if my kings hadn't been sucked out on by Ace King, everything would have changed. I probably
I love that. That's I always say that it's like perspective in life is a really amazing thing because and I don't want to get all philosophical, but I do think that a lot of times as a poker player we do look at times we lose Ace King to King,
or you lose a flip or something bad goes your way,
and it's like, why me? I can't believe it. And you realize that hey, listen, there can be a silver lining to it.
Yeah.
And in this case,
yeah, it ended up perfectly. Yeah, she's great. She helps me through. Poker can be such a tough game, and she's just such a great support system for me. And yeah, owe her a lot for.
Does she still play?
She plays some cash here and there. She's played some turn. She has a hand in cash, so she's on the board, But
on the board.
Yeah, yeah. She plays a little, but I think she just saw how much work has to go into it, so she's like, okay, I'll let you do.
I did, and see, I understand what your fiance is feeling, because I'm like, most people got into poker not because they wanted to work. I mean, in fact, you told me you got into poker because you did not want a job.
Yeah.
And yet, how much work do you put into your game?
Yeah, I mean, well, it doesn't really feel like work when you're really enjoying it. I've had ADHD, so I just get really like super into like hyper focused on like different activities, and poker is just one of them where when I'm like trying to get better, it just doesn't, or like I guess playing a lot, it just doesn't feel like a job.
Right.
I mean, I really just don't think poker feels like work in general. Even the studying part, it can be interesting.
How do you get better? I mean, what's your method of studying and learning your game?
So it's funny, like recently things have been going well, so I haven't been studying as hard. I typically really turn it up when I'm losing. That's kind of what puts the spark in me to, like, really push myself, because I gotta change something, but generally just, every once in a while. I mean, I haven't played online in a long time, but playing online helps, and I would record my sessions and then look them over later, look at spots that I didn't really know, and then run those. And if I had messed up on the spot, I would just drill that spot over and over.
How do you know if you messed up on it?
Well, you just run it through the solver.
Through the solver.
Yeah. If you
Do you have a coach?
fucked it up. Basically, I mean, me and my buddy, I have a core group of friends, and we all kind of help each other out. But Brock Wilson, he's my buddy who really helps me through the fundamentals and the, I guess the reason why the solver does what it does. And yeah, at this point we've both gotten pretty good at it, but he was definitely really, really helpful, especially early on when I was still, learning and getting used to all that.
Right.
But
so, going back, your dad introduced you to the game when you're 9 years old. Did you love it right away? I mean, were you entranced?
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed really interesting. I mean, it's a game that you can play for money, so that's automatically cool. Right. Also, poker is such there's a coolness aspect when you're first growing up as a male, I guess, as like a young boy, or like, or high school or college. Like, if you're good at poker, like, that's a cool trick. You see in the movies, like, that cool guy, like, if there's ever a poker scene, the cool guy, he's also good at poker, right? Like, he just makes really good hands, because that's like the coolest of what is being good at poker for the public, right? Making a,
like, you got a straight good. You have 4 of a kind. I have straight flush.
Yeah, exactly. This guy with the straight flush is better, but there's a coolness aspect to it, so I think I like that. But I also just really like the strategy aspect. When you watch it on TV. Now, this hindered my game in the beginning, but you see all these cool plays of guys who, they got nothing. Like, they got like the 9-5 off, and they're 4-betting someone and going bet, shove, and this guy's folding like 2 jacks on like a 6-high board, and the guy with the 9-5, he got him, right? Like, and like, that guy's sick, and I found that really cool, like a game where you could kind of like, it's kind of a game of deception, it's like a game of like, it's almost a game of chicken, right? That's how I saw it in the beginning when they were showing all these highlight hands. Quickly, I learned that that's really not how the game's played. But
it should be played that way.
I think it'd be way more fun, right?
Way more fun.
The clicking, re-clicking, the 3-bet 4. Yeah, by the time I got into it, that stuff wasn't as prevalent. But
right, I was playing during that time and commentating during that time.
Yeah,
and it would just be like, he's 5-betting with King 4. He's 6-betting with Ace 6.
Well,
the guy with Queen's already folded. Yeah. What is going on here?
Yeah, that seems like I think that's what really captured me in the beginning, is just like that ballsiness factor of like, this kid, he's the man, because he just found that like extra bet that this out, like, ready to call, or yeah. Although in the beginning, though, when I did start playing, that really hurt me, because my whole idea of how to play was like, when I watch a guy play, I'm like, well, why is he not like randomly like 4-betting like, or 3-betting like, 8-6 off? Like, obviously that's a good play because Tom Dwan did it, like,
right.
This guy's not really trying that hard. I know what to do. I'll show them,
He's a quitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a quitter. I mean, listen, if you fold, you cannot win the hand that you fold.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's not fun.
Yeah, but
is that still part of your game, or have you changed?
No. Well, every once in a while. I mean, I've always been kind of a degenerate when I'm at least playing. I'm always like want to get in the mix. Folding's not my favorite thing to do, so yeah, I've learned to tone it down, but I still have that fact, like, it's like the little devil in your shoulder that's just telling you to do something stupid that you shouldn't, but maybe it would work,
Hey, having that, like, I remember talking to Adam Friedman about this many years ago, and he's like, and I think when people watch him play, they just think like, straight-laced, kind of a nit, doesn't get crazy too often. He goes, yeah, that's me. He goes, except the fact that like 5% of the time, I am crazy.
Yeah.
And he goes, that 5% gets me paid a lot of the other times.
For sure. I mean, it's all about like, especially live poker. There's such a big psychological element where, it's all this game flow state and like, oh, like I've been playing tight, so now I can play like crazy, or I've been playing too crazy, now I have to like tighten up. It just there's so many different factors changing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, my co-commentator for 8 at 8, Nick Welthall, always likes to say, he's like, listen, if you bluffed a guy 20 years ago, he will remember you. And you will forever be that bluffer. No matter what else happened, you are that bluffer.
I can relate to that because there's certain guys from Foxwoods. I don't think maybe they'll watch this, but there's certain guys from Foxwoods.
They're gonna watch.
I know. yeah, it's the 8 show, right?
Well,
but I know, like, as soon as I sit down with him and like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. I'm like, okay, cannot bluff this guy just because Foxwood days, that was when I was like the craziest.
It's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and then sometimes I'll try and I'll get called by the most ridiculous thing. I'm like, I really just did that to myself because I knew this guy wasn't gonna fold to me.
No. I mean, if you still like the crazy aspect, it's still out there. I mean, I get the commentate on a cash game out of LA.
That doesn't feel like it's no money, right?
That's about as like that's often a game of chicken.
Yeah, for sure. But that game also has like a bunch of side games, and there's other factors to it too. But yes, that game is that's not regular.
It's not poker. That is not poker. So you live in Vegas now.
Yes.
You're from New York.
Born in New York, grew up in London for a little bit, and then did the rest of my growing up in Greenwich, Connecticut. That's one of my.
Wow. Okay, so when did you move to London?
Yeah, moved to London when I was 2 for my dad's work.
What did your dad do?
Well, he used to be in finance. He used to be a hedge fund guy, and then in the last, I'd say like 5 years. I can't even remember, maybe 6 years. No, actually, no. Sorry, it's been like 10 years. Time just flies.
Time flies, right?
He moved into real estate, and they've been doing really well at that. So that's their main gig, and it's a lot more freedom. In the beginning, it's really hands-on, but now it's like more freedom. They get to control their own schedule. But yeah. But originally, his work had brought me to London, so lived there. I had a British accent and everything. It was pretty.
Did you?
Hilarious. Yeah, as a little kid.
Did you play cricket?
No. Soccer was like the main, because soccer's the main game everywhere. Actually, that's why I got into soccer, coming to America, because I was like pretty average at soccer in London, because that was the main game. But in America, soccer's not.
No, you were probably pretty good.
Yeah, so I was just pretty good because like,
especially if you're fast.
Yeah. Also, like in London, or I guess all of the world besides America, soccer's like really focused on.
Right, the
right?
best
like,
athletes are playing soccer.
Yeah, but it's just a sport that everyone plays and everyone tries to get good at. Whereas America, people aren't really focusing. And if you're not trying to get good at soccer, it's a hard game. You're using your feet. It's not that natural. So. That's what got me into soccer in the beginning.
Okay. Do you still play soccer now?
I'll play once in a blue moon. I mean, I haven't played in like, I wouldn't say like 4 or 5 years. And when I did, I was like so winded after like.
Did you ever play in the? So we had a Patrick Leonard on a previous 8 at 8 ride. Shout out to Patrick Leonard. And of course, if you want to watch any of these shows, you can watch them on our YouTube channel. There's a little plug for you. Anyway, one summer I took Patrick Leonard to the World Series of soccer.
Yeah, they have a league. Yeah. I have some buddies who play that.
It was one of the coolest things ever, because I mean, you had an Argentinian team, Brazilian team, you had an English team. It was really cool.
Yeah. I've never.
I didn't play for different teams.
Well, Korea maybe if they have. I don't think they have a Korean team, but no, I haven't done that. Yeah, during the summer I just really just play every day, so I just don't have any time. But yeah, I had some friends who did that. It seemed fun.
How many years were you in London?
Oh God, I want to say we moved to the U.S. when I was 6 or 7, so like 4 or 5
you really little.
Yeah.
Do you remember a lot about it?
I remember that they would have organized fights almost, like when I was like young. I think the first and only fight, it was like an organized fight, and some kid was owning everyone. I was like.
Organized kid fights?
Yeah. And I was like, I could take him when I was like, I don't know, 5 or something.
Were you at some sort of like really
awful? No, this
were
is
you
like
at like a daycare that like?
No. No, this is during school, like just during recess.
okay.
But then the teachers would kind of watch on. I mean, it was
Wait, the
probably,
teachers are
it was
watching?
probably more intense in my head when you're like 5 or 6 when you remember it. But I think he like kind of like grabbed me and did like one of these like flip things, and I fell over, and then like that was the end of my fighting career.
I just want to make this. I just want to hold on a second. I normally would just pass on, but so you're like 4 years old.
Or 5 or 6, 5 to 6, yeah.
No, in my head, you're 3 or 4 years old, and you have organized fights,
Kinda, yeah. Like,
and
you
the
know,
teachers are watching and betting on it.
well, not betting on it, but they're kind of just like sitting in their chairs like for recess, and then like, you know, sometimes the kids will come up crying, and it's like, okay, it's fine. Like, you know, I guess like kids in London, I guess they're a little rougher, you know. Yeah, that
would
probably
never
wouldn't fly in America. I honestly probably wouldn't fly there anymore either. It's just like back then, there's a lot more you could do. You know, a lot more people to get away.
Kids are
with.
soft today. I say,
They really are.
send your kid to that preschool. That's way better. Okay, get them
It's
to.
actually a nice prep school too, but you know, it's
I love it. And then you came back and moved to.
yeah, I moved to Connecticut.
So is that basically when you think of like where you grew up? Is Connecticut?
Yeah, basically Connecticut. Yeah, that's where I did. That's where I was basically my full childhood. But,
Right.
When I was
And
older.
Colby for a semester.
Yeah. I was really into chess, so that's probably where the strategy game came from. When I was in London, I was playing for my school team, was like #1 of my school team, and then my like school chess coach said, oh, he should probably look into like getting a real coach. And I got a real coach, took it pretty seriously. I think when I was 6, I was like top 20 for my age in London, but London was actually on the weaker side for chess, so it's not as impressive as it sounds.
It's still impressive.
Yeah, but it kind of just gave me like it was a beginning of like my strategy game career. I've always really been into strategy games.
Like games and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, games where like I'm not that mechanically good at games because I didn't play many video games, but with strategy stuff, I was always like pretty decent.
Do you go back and like when you play a strategy game, do you like when you stop playing, do you like obsess on it and how to win and think about
Yeah, well, especially if I play with my family, and like my family's all pretty smart. But if I'm not winning, I like kind of nowadays I really obsess over it because nowadays you can just YouTube anything and YouTube strategy and stuff and like quickly figure out how to get really good really quick, right? But even back then, you know, I was always a competitive kid. I feel like everyone, but it wasn't everyone a competitive kid.
I don't think everybody's a competitive kid. I mean, I think that that's a trait that most successful people probably share.
True.
And it's not, I don't want to say exclusively, but I would say, but I don't think everybody's competitive.
Yeah, I think most guys are competitive though, right? Like, I don't know. At least all my friends, like, I was always competitive with my buddy. I mean, I'm still
Maybe. How good are you at chess? Like, what's your, like, do you have a rod?
now
You still play?
Now I'm DOS. I mean, once you don't play for a while, it's I mean, I on like chess.com, I'm like 1600
Oh.
or 18. No, I got 1800 blitz and 1600 bullet. Like bullet is just. It's just too random. I'm just like throwing pieces everywhere. I can't do anything. But yeah, I'm DOS now.
Okay.
But
Have you ever played like Dan Smith in chess?
I mean, it wouldn't even be close.
It wouldn't?
No. He's another level for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of decent chess players.
No, I think the crossover is.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's you're competitive. You like
Yeah.
strategy games. You like thinking about things like that.
Yeah, chess is definitely way more punishing, and there's a lot more like. I think it's just like a lot. You can't wing it as much, which is kind of the issue. I think that's like the thing I liked about poker. A lot of it's like figuring out in the exact moment. Chess is like you have to put in the study in the hours, and that was also a reason why my parents moved me off of it once I came to America, because we talked to some guys and they said it would take. I mean, if I wanted to be competitive, like I would have to be putting in like 1 to 2 hours every day, and they were like, okay, it just doesn't make sense, just because there's not. I mean, unless you're like Magnus Carlsen, there's not much of a future. Right. You have to be like top 10 in the world to really make something of it. Otherwise, coaching is.
So were your parents? I mean, obviously your dad's successful hedge fund manager.
Well, he was managing
Managers.
his hedge fund. He closed it up so we could do like a year-long travel trip, but then
Okay, so
obviously
obviously
he's
you come from a successful family,
Yeah.
and it sounds like, and it's really interesting to me that as a child, it feels like a lot of the things that you were taught and guided toward were, what's the ROI on this?
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah.
like,
I mean,
it's
it's
like,
they looked at it from a strategic.
like while my 8-year-old was just bouncing up and down, the bouncing house,
Yeah.
and I'm not sitting there going, what's the ROI on this? Be like, my wife's looking at me going, he's having fun. Yeah, that's good. He's having fun. Where's the ROI? Where's my return on this?
Yeah. I guess you could say that was pretty accurate. I mean, they also balanced it out with, if we weren't having fun doing something, they wouldn't push it on.
I mean,
so.
clearly, right. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you enjoyed squash.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed chess for a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Right. And then obviously poker, you loved. You still love it?
Yeah, definitely love it. I've loved it forever. I mean, every once in a while, it becomes like this. So every new summer is always the hardest it's been by the end of the summer, if that makes sense. So like nowadays I'm getting older and older. When I was like 21, 22, 23, playing every day during the summer, it was a breeze.
Right.
Like now, like last year and this year, I've still tried to play every day, but it's just getting tougher and tougher. Not sure if I'm going to be able to continue doing that, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, you're over the hill already. I mean, 30 years old.
No longer.
What are you
Once you hit the big 3-0, it's kind of fucked, right?
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna? You gotta find something else to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I read somewhere that you paid back your deceased backer.
Yeah, so that was a.
Well, tell me this story. I'm really curious.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a very, very loose, but I think it, at least the headline for it was very, very interesting. So
Yeah.
what's the story?
Yeah. So, okay, quick synopsis with how I met them. So I met Ricky early on in my poker career, when I was like just turned 21, and before my the first summer I'd be able to play as a 21-year-old during Vegas, he hooked me up with this guy Alex, who backed him.
Okay.
And Alex started backing me. He took faith in me, and yeah.
Well,
so
explain that to people who have no idea how that even.
yeah. So backing is, I guess, an easy way to say it is an investor who puts up 100% of the money and gets 50% of the total profits. Now, that sounds really, really good for the investor, but the downside is people go like deep in the hole, and sometimes, if people quit deep in the hole, you can't force them to play. There's all this theoretical money that you've lost out on. And the way it works is, if you say I lose 100K in tournaments, and then I cash for exactly 100K, I have to pay back the 100K I lost first before I start getting any profit.
Right. So you'd be in what's called makeup.
Makeup, yes.
Right. So what incentivizes a player? Let's say you're in makeup, right? And you owe your backer, to say 50.
Yeah, so you're in 50K makeup.
Makes it-
Yeah.
Does that change the way you would play the next tournament?
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, I have to win this just to get out of makeup.
Yeah. I mean, it really fucks people's incentives for sure, I think. Especially if like you need first to clear makeup. It's kind of problematic, I would say, almost. I mean, when I was backed, I was starting to struggle with this, and when I was getting deep in makeup, and the way I was able to try to motivate myself was I was taking pieces of myself off makeup. So say the buy-in was a 1K tournament, I was saying, okay, just give me 10% of every buy-in, and I'm putting up 10% of my own money. So now only $900 is on the backing deal, and I would have 10%. So then I have some skin in the game of my own.
So at least you're playing a $100 tournament.
Yeah, I'm playing $100 on my side. Like I like that. Just having that in the back of your head, like, so you have more to like play for. Where, it's your own money at risk too. Like, you just want to make good decisions. To just...
Okay, so you're deep in makeup. When you say deep in makeup, how much?
Well, so at peak, I peaked around like 70K-ish in makeup, and this is like my average buy-in was around like 1,500. So this is like a decent amount of buy, or like probably like 1K to 1,500 average buy-in
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's
So this
very
is decent.
significant.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. By the time I'd gotten to, I guess, what we're about to talk about, it was Borgata, Maine. I had actually gotten my makeup down to about 20K.
Okay.
And yeah, and for these main event buy-ins, so I would have 10% of all myself because that's what we were doing to keep myself motivated. For these bigger WPT mains, like the 3Ks plus, what we would do is I would have 10% of the first, and then if I busted a bullet, my second bullet, I would actually buy 20% of my.
Okay.
Because he just didn't want to take the variance of later bullets. He would rather. I mean, he still wanted action, but he would just.
Right. So you'd have
less
$300 on the first bullet, and then you'd have $600.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. There's 30% of the third, and it was on my third bullet that's where I started making my run. And this guy Alex, I'd only met him once. Yeah, cool dude. I think he might have like not had the healthiest lifestyle. He might have done some drugs and stuff too, although I think he was coming off of it. But yeah, it was really unfortunate. Day 3, we had been texting the whole time. Day 4, didn't hear word from him, and this is like right before I make the FT, and then like on the day of the FT, I found out.
The FT is the final table.
Yeah, the final table. Found out
That's lingo for you.
Yeah,
I got it. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. I'm gonna commentate the FT.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Go.
Yeah, and yeah, right before the final table, Ricky was like, "Oh my God, Alex died." And I was like, "Okay," and he was like, "Well, play the FD and we'll figure it all out." I think he just passed away in sleep, so I don't even know really that much details.
Older man, or just like you said, just
he was in his 40s.
Oh wow!
So not that old, and he had a family. He had kids.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. So thankfully, I was well out of the hole. we were 6 left. I was locked up 130. I think it was 138, and then I ended up getting 6th. Had 30% of the chips in play before that tournament, or like going into the FT, and then ended up getting 6th. So wasn't the best result, like, you know.
But at this point in your poker career,
it was a solid.
It's amazing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, no one's really ever satisfied unless they win. Like,
of course.
winning a tournament for like 100K definitely feels way better than getting 6th for 130. It's just the expectations, you know.
I get it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, I got 6th. Yeah. Well, luckily for me, I was able to at least send the money because we had an arrangement, so I was able to clear makeup.
And
profit split.
Did he send the money to his family?
So I think we had Ricky send it to. He had like one other guy who he was good friends with in the poker community who was still alive. I'm sure it's cool if I say his name. Steve Karp. He was part of like some of the backing, not my arrangement, but some of his other arrangements. Right. So he was able to. He got him the money. I think he got it to the Alex's family, and then anyone who's in makeup, they just bought out for 10 cents on the dollar because it's not like the wife is gonna run it, and just get the family some more money.
No, that's a great thing though, because we hear a lot of terrible stories in poker. Anytime there's gambling, anytime there's money.
Yeah.
So it's great that I'm sure there are poker players out there that were like, oh well, he died.
Yeah. So he died. So the deal's off and the money's mine.
Awesome.
And like
but the fact that you paid in full and
well, I mean, it's just like also just like the right thing to do, right? Like this guy believed in me. He put up a bunch of buy-ins for me. Like I was happy to make him money, and if he was alive, like I would have paid him. It should be the same thing if he has a fan. Like if there was no one to pay, it might be a little different. But even then, like I'm sure you could find someone.
Find somebody that.
Yeah, like that could take the money for him, right?
Right. The fact that it wasn't even a thought for you, and the fact that it was just okay.
Yeah.
I want to do what's right. Yeah. I think says a lot about your character.
Yeah. And I was also probably overly confident. I just thought I was like the best player ever, so I thought the money would just be rolling in always. So maybe that also helped. But yeah, I would say I generally like making the fair decision. I also think that's why I really enjoy poker tournaments, because it's such a fair game. You come in with your sure, the buy-ins are can be expensive, but as soon as you buy in, it doesn't matter if you have 5,000 more buy-ins in the bank, or just like that one. Once like late reg is closed, like that's it, you know, like you could be the richest person in the world, but as soon as you're out, you can't buy in again, you know? And I think that's like the coolest, like it's like a level playing field, like.
Right. I mean, I will tell you that as somebody who's played poker, and obviously it's been part of my life for many, many years, I love the fact that that's one of it, and I also love the fact that you can walk into a casino and you're playing a poker tournament and all these different walks of life, like, you know, somebody like your dad or somebody like you, and you know, you just get you get doctors, you get lawyers, you get you know, construction workers, and I have yet to kind of really see any like, oh, this guy's in this line of work, so he's probably better, or this guy's more educated, so maybe he's better.
No,
it's not the case at all.
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all. Yeah, and especially when you get to like the higher stakes, because in the low stakes, sometimes it's like these guys are just using like the last of the money of their paycheck, and it can be like you can sense like the stress on some of it, and there can be uncomfortable vibes. But at the higher stakes, unless they're complete degenerates, usually someone who's playing like a 5K or a 10K or like $5,000, $10,000 tournament, ideally they got a lot of money in the bank if they're not a professional, because otherwise, you know, that's a lot of money.
I played a 5K WPT, and one of my first 5K WPTs. It was such a degen thing. I wanted to get in so badly. I did a cash advance.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Oh my! It was like,
this is when you were like an up and coming pro, I assume, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, I was allegedly trying to be a pro. But I was so desperate to play.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I do not recommend that. Do not do that. Terrible idea.
The times now might be different, but I'm more talking about like the older crowd who plays these, like the recreational older crowd. Like those guys are probably pretty successful, and meeting some of them, it's really cool. Like talking to some of these guys, and obviously the money they make compared to like poker money is like, there's an astronomical difference. But you get to meet some really interesting guys who like have like different, like I guess, paths of like what got them to where they are today, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, they're just like what you said, you just get like meeting so many different people, you know, of all ages. And
it was one of the things. So I lived in London for a while as well, but I lived there as an adult, and one of my favorite things about London was the fact that if you go into the center of town, you hear on a random day, you hear between 5 and 7 different languages.
Yeah.
And I always love that, but it's also one of the things that brings me to poker, because I do love the fact that you sit at the poker table and, you know, you get all these different people from all these different walks of life. And it's, for me, it's kind of cool that we get to this kind of just cross section of society in a weird way.
And especially like once you go internationally too, it's just like poker's just like, you know, it's like a universal language almost. Like, you know, everyone's just playing the same game regardless of where you're from or what language you speak.
Talk about the international. You have been quoted as saying that one of your proudest moments was winning the EPT Barcelona.
Yeah.
Talk about that for a second. Talk about playing in Europe and
yeah, I mean, lately, the last, I'd say 2 years, I've not only been playing in Europe, but Europe and Asia and like Australia. I've been traveling everywhere, just using it as, like, poker's such a cool game, I can just use it as an excuse to go to all these cool places. And yeah, if there's a poker tournament there, I can play, and then also on my off time just explore around with my fiance. It's just super sick. I mean, EPT in particular, I mean, just the way Stars runs their tournaments are so well run, and you know, I grew up watching the
888 is better, but it's totally
I mean,
fine.
it's great too.
Totally fine.
But just the way they run their tournaments, and the size of these fields, and how, like, after I think the one that I won was the 20th anniversary. They've been running this Barcelona series for 20 years now, you know.
And like, was that your first 7-figure score?
It was my first 7-figure score. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge.
Take us to that moment. I mean, when you.
Yeah, I mean, that was just nuts. I don't know. It just felt surreal. What was great about the whole experience was EPT mains. They kind of shortened their days, because they're trying to drag the tournament out for, like, I think it was like a 6-day tournament or something. So they really drag it out, but every day, like, it kind of, you get, like,
You know the reason for that, by the way?
TV time, I guess.
Stapes and Hardigan are inherently just lazy people. Okay, listen, they're just inherently, and they in their contract they're very fancy. Okay,
Sure.
they're very in their contract they can't work more than 5 hours a day.
Come on, really? Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so the days were short, and it was actually nice because compared to like somewhere like the main WSOP main event where I think I made day 6, it was grueling long days where you start at 12 and you end at like 1 a.m. and then you get home at like 1:30 and then you're trying to sleep as long as possible and then you got to do the whole thing over
It's
again.
impossible to sleep.
Yeah,
you still go.
yeah, and then whereas in EPTs you start at 12 and the day ends usually around like 8 with no dinner break, and
you're in Europe, so you can still
you're in
get
Europe.
dinner there.
Yeah, you get Europe with your friends, you like kind of enjoy the city, like
Right.
like decompress a little, get to sleep around like 11 or something after like 3 hours of like eating and chilling, and then like you do it all over again, and it was like a much more chill experience. Also the fact that, you know, it's an EPT main and I've watched these as a kid for my whole life, and this one got huge. I think me and Andrew Holm ended up chopping the money before we played heads up for some small, I think we played heads up for like 60k euros or something, but
60K.
yeah, just 60. I mean, it felt like nothing when you're like originally
Well, you already locked up 1.4 million.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but it's still
well, 1.3, but yeah, like, well, if we didn't chop, we'd be playing for I think like 600k euros, and then we were like, okay, maybe we just chop this up and, you know, move on with our lives and still play it out. Yeah, I mean, it just got like so much money up top, and it was such a cool event, and I ran so good during that whole event too. I think I was getting aces, like I was averaging aces like 3 times a day, and it wasn't like the aces where you raise and everyone folds, or like you raise and one guy calls and like they just check fold the flop. It was the aces where this guy's got ace king, you know, and then we just get in for input.
right.
The time
you have aces where it's already been like raise 3,
yeah, and
jam, and
jam, and you look down and you're like, oh my god.
right, you're looking down like, okay,
Yeah, that was-
ready to muck.
That was my life with it, and they were holding, you know, and that's huge. So obviously, yeah, the tournament was super fun. I had so many chips from. It's actually funny in that tournament on dinner break. I was down to 20k from 30k on my second bullet, and I don't know if you know how EPGs work.
Good idea.
You get 2 bullets maximum,
Right.
no matter what. So you could play 2 bullets the first day and you bust and you're out, or you play 1 the first day, 1 the second day, and you bust, you're out, or you play maybe like 1 on day 1B and then you can max on day 2 or something. But you get 2 max. And I was on my second bullet. I had 20k from 30k at the 400, 800 big blind. And on dinner break, I was actually I didn't even eat that much
So there are 25 big blinds for those of you watching, and
Yeah.
that's how.
and I didn't even
This.
yeah
A steel trap.
yeah I didn't even eat that much because I told my fiance, I was like, I'm probably gonna be out, so we should look for what I'm gonna do. Like maybe we should go somewhere in Barcelona city to like
It's a beautiful
get
city.
a meal, you know. So I was already expecting to bust. That day I like come back and I just like absolutely sun it, and then I think I bagged like 220 or something ridiculous from the 30k starting, and then from then on it was just like every day I was
So your poor fiance is still waiting for food. Are we getting dinner? And you're like, oh, sorry.
yeah,
no.
no, I can't bust this damn tournament. But yeah, that was such a sick tournament. I mean, I've run really good in tournaments, in a lot of different tournaments, but that one was
Right.
pretty memorable.
I heard that you don't update your stack.
Yeah, that is
that still a thing?
That is a thing. So even
What's
with
the
my
reason behind
fiance,
this?
well, so
Even with your fiance.
yeah, okay, here's the reason why. No matter what, like, because typically when people update their friends or their family about their stack, it's always when they peak at some amount, right? So say you started the break with like 400k in chips, like, you know, in the money of some tournament, and then you all of a sudden like double, and now you're at like 900k, right? And then you text all your friends and family, oh, 900k in like, you know, let's just call it like the Summer Hard Rock main event, right? Like 900k in the main event, and everyone's like, oh wow, sick. And then, you know, the next like 40 minutes goes by, like maybe you lose a pot, maybe you lose a couple pots, and then, you know, you end the break with like 600k, right? Now you text your friends like, okay, 600k on break. It's like,
When
well,
you're feeling great, but your friends are like, what happened?
well, you might not even be feeling that great, but like your friends are like, wait, didn't you just have 900k? Now you have 600. I mean, you started the earlier break with 400. You got to 600. If they've only heard 400 or 600, you know, they'd be like, oh yeah, you're doing well. When you say the peak stack, I feel like you're setting up these expectations that can only bring you disappointment unless you win another big pot and then you update them
But
again.
if you're always updating it,
Yeah, exactly. Now you're setting these expectations.
So has it now become a superstition as well?
Now it's become a superstition because I feel like whenever, like I even with my friends, because they'll still update sometimes, they're like, I got 1.4 mil or something, and then like they just get like torched in like 4 pots, and then they like end up with like 400k on the break, and I'll be like, well, that's a stack update curse, you know. But yeah, now I'm superstitious, but in the beginning it was really just like a way of like not setting expectations too high, or like it can even be affect your play, right? You hit 900k, you tell all your friends, you get to like 850, or you hit 900k, you tell all your friends, right? And then all of a sudden now you're playing this pot where some guys like he 3-bet, and you like, let's say you have an easy decision, you have 2 10s and he 3-bet and you're pretty deep, and you call, the flop's like 8 high, you check and he bets and you call, and the turn's a brick and you check, and now he bombs it, and maybe this guy, you know, this guy's crazy, but you're like, man, I just told my friends I had 900k. Am I really gonna fucking call? Like, maybe you're supposed to call it down, but like, there's still a chance this guy's got like 2 kings and you're gonna be fucking out, and you just told them you had 900k, right? And now that's in the back of your mind, like, fuck, like I told them I had like, I was just telling all my friends how well I was doing. They were all saying, congrats, you got this, like so sick. And now like this next hand, you're like playing this ridiculous pot, and now that's in the back of your mind too.
Like you obviously don't, there's enough to think about. You
exactly, yeah.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, I will tell you that I don't play very many tournaments. When I do play a tournament, I don't update during the break, but it's not a superstition thing. It's not, I'm not really concerned about that. To me, I know this is going to shock people, I turn my phone off when I'm playing. It's crazy.
That's one of the smartest things anyone could do.
And then I turn it on when I'm on break, and I'll give an update.
Yeah.
Hey, headed to level 4.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the best way to do it for sure. I mean, most people just can't. It's really hard on day ones, but I guess if you don't play in that many tournaments, then maybe it can all be exciting. But day ones are pretty grueling. That takes a lot.
You play? I mean, how many tournaments a year do you play?
So this year I have, I think 200. I just counted. I have 269 entries.
Live tournaments.
Live entries this year.
Live entries. Yeah. That's insane.
And with a couple months to go. So I mean, this year's been my highest volume year.
We still have months left in this year.
Yeah. So I might hit 300. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm taking a little bit of vacation after this. So.
All right. What do you guys? Yeah. What's your vacation?
Going to Hawaii, and then Fiji, and then I'll be back for Bay 101. So. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Nice. No real poker in Hawaii or Fiji.
No, nothing. I just need some time to I've been playing like nonstop. I played the WSOP nonstop. I took like a 2-week break, and then I played nonstop in Florida, Cyprus, Barcelona, Korea, back to Vegas for poker. Like it was just.
I mean, in fairness, he's not lying. I have been trying to get Steven in the car for months and months, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in Asia."
Yeah,
I'm in Europe. I'm like, okay, just let me know when you're back here.
It really never ends, man.
I was like, where do you live?
Yeah.
I mean, our cameraman was asking me, where do you live? I'm like, I don't think he has a home. I think he just goes around.
Yeah.
I think he just travels.
Yeah. It really feels that way sometimes.
I bet. What are your parents, obviously, you talk about like that ROI, and I was joking around about it, but what do they think about you being a poker player?
Well, now, obviously, I've proven myself where I should be winning. Maybe I'm just on like the sickest heater of all time.
Hey, listen, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares if you should be winning? If you're on this kind of a heater, just
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd much rather just be the luckiest guy in the world and running great and not that great of a player than the best player in the world who's just getting torched. But
I have no interest in being really good and having lots of clean scars. I'd rather be really bad and have all the votes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so now they're cool with it. In the beginning, they were really uneasy about it because it just, even now, like knowing if I knew what I knew now and was telling, maybe not young me, because I love the life I've been able to build for myself, but if I was telling like a young guy, I think it's a really tough game, and unless you really love poker, like you have to be all in.
Right.
And that's kind of what it takes.
Pun intended.
Yeah, yeah, pun intended. Yeah, but that's really what it takes. And in the beginning, my parents were really, really not on board with it. I think they didn't think it was gonna work, but they were like, "Okay, we'll let you kind of do it for like." I was like half doing it.
We
for a
showed you
little-
this world of squash where
Yeah,
you can make a solid 4-figure career, okay?
Yeah.
And
Well-
you chose poker.
Well, squash is different. It was more like we had you play squash to get into college so you could coast and make 6 figs, and now I'm like sitting and play poker and like, you know, I'm just trying to grind by. But
When you chose poker, did your mom like just like did she like smack your dad like you taught him this?
Yeah.
This is your fault.
well, it's more that I think they didn't really take it too seriously. They thought that it would just be like a phase, and then I kind of move on to something else. I think what actually really turned, obviously the money really helps, but talking about it with my parents, what really turned them to it is poker has this stigma of being like a degenerate gambler's game,
Yeah,
right?
back in the day.
But when they were able to meet my friends who I was playing with, they were like, these were all pretty good guys, you know, and we all had like the same ambitions, and you know, yeah, they were much more on board with it when they realized what it was more about. It wasn't just some degenerate game where like, you know, we're playing in like some guys like in like some alley or something where like, you know, at any moment someone could come in with the guns and like rob us. Like we're playing in the casino, it's pretty controlled, like.
Right.
But yeah, now they're much more on board. In the beginning, yeah, it was tough for sure, especially because when you're not a good player, it's hard to make money, and then like you also have to convince your parents that this is going to be a viable option. It's like you can't just have your kids sit around like saying like, oh, but like just give me like a year and I'll get good, right? It's like, what if a year passes and you're not good? Now you've wasted all this time.
And I guess to somebody who's not, even though your dad played poker, but somebody who's not in the poker world,
yeah,
the only way to validate that you're good is the results.
exactly. Yeah,
And it's like, no, Dad, I'm playing really well. I'm the variance.
the variance. Look at my BB per 100 online. It's like, buddy, we don't care unless there's real dollars in the bank, you know.
Where are you living? How much do you owe your backer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Now we talked about your character and how you paid your backer back,
Yeah.
even after he passed away. Talk about you paid your parents back college tuition.
Yeah, so the deal with college going into it was they're like, okay, obviously, like they're pretty well off, and they're like, okay, we'll obviously help you out, but the deal is we don't want to just throw this money away. You got to get like B's and like just at least maintain B's and graduate, and then we'll cover your tuition.
Okay.
Colby College is a small liberal school, so
Yeah.
kind of expensive. It was $60K a year, $30K a semester. Obviously I dropped out half semester, so that kind of just went to waste. I still had to pay, or my parents had to pay the semester, but they were like, look, you knew the deal, and I'm not going to try to argue with them. I knew it too. So yeah, I had to pay back my tuition while trying to like grind up this roll from poker while I'm not a good player, playing like pretty low stakes. We were shooting for 1K a month at a certain point. Once I was like making okay money, I was trying to pay them 1K a month.
Right.
But it was tough in the beginning.
I bet.
Yeah,
I mean, $30,000 is a lot of money
yeah,
for.
yeah.
You know, I go back to like 20-year-old me. I'm like 30. Oh my gosh.
I know. And then, like every month, that month would come. I was like, oh man, like I was like, this hurts. Like this is like.
I love the life lesson. Like you think about from your parents' perspective. Like they had the money, they didn't need the money, but the lesson they taught you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's just like being accountable, and I think being accountable on and off the table is really important. Like not blaming, not just because poker is so easy to just blame variance, right? It's so easy to say I got unlucky. It's like, well, why don't you be accountable for everything that happened up to that point? Sure, when the money went in, maybe you were ahead, but maybe you missed on a spot where, you know, you could have chipped up and not been at risk, or maybe you passed on this spot, or, you know, there's just a million factors for.
Is that your superhero power? Is that your? I mean,
being accountable.
yeah.
Or,
Like because
yeah,
you
I would
mentioned
say-
that when things aren't going well is when you put the work in. Yeah, and you know, I know a lot of poker players that when things aren't going well, they end up blaming variance or I'm just getting really unlucky. I'm just running so bad right now.
Well, don't get me wrong. I bitch about that stuff too. So I'm not immune to that. But I'm also like, okay, like I gotta work hard and at least like, sure, like I might be running bad, but like I gotta do everything in my power to, give myself the best shot at, actually turning this around. I think like accountability in poker is like, or self-awareness, I would say, is really, really important. I would say one of the most important skills you could have as a poker player, not thinking you're just like the best or not thinking you're the unluckiest. It's easy when you're doing well. Actually, sometimes it's hard when you're doing well because you have this overconfidence, but it's easy.
Right. Listen, this has been amazing. Honestly, this conversation has exceeded my my highest expectations.
Appreciate it.
No, seriously, it's really good to get to know you a little bit better. And obviously, I'm the host of the show, but I'm a poker fan, and getting to know people that I don't know that well
Yeah.
is what excites me. This has been amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Yeah, appreciate it.
Congratulations on the engagement.
Yeah, that's.
By the way, why are you guys getting eloped? Why are you guys eloping?
It's just like it's just the stress of like having like a real wedding is like a lot, and then you have to like figure out who you're inviting, who you're not inviting, and it's like a whole
Your
thing.
parents are okay with this?
Our parents are okay with it. We're gonna do some kind of thing where all our parents meet in like a dinner setting, like like a family, like a smaller family, like celebration thing. Other than like.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not invited to the wedding. Fine. Okay. I thought we were buddies. Okay.
Well, it's the issue, you have a wedding and then you have to like not invite some people, and then start hurting some feelings.
I get it. Hey, listen, man, this has been so great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Have fun in Hawaii. Have fun in Fiji.
Yeah, I will.
Good luck with everything,
appreciate
and we'll look for him. Steven Song, guys. Here he is. There you go.